Welcome to the Purveyor Zone. My name is Melendi, certified master tobacconist, cigar connoisseur, and purveyor of fine cigars and smoking accessories. Today is August 31st, 2020, so sit back, pour yourself a libation, light up your favorite cigar, relax, and prepare to experience life's earthly pleasures from around the world with the Cigar Purveyor. And today we're in Somers Point, New Jersey, and I've discovered this great new shop that's been around here for not too long now. And I'd like to welcome to the show Steve Ortiz, the owner of Somers Point Cigars. Welcome to the Purveyor Zone, Steve.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me. So tell us a little bit about your shop here, just briefly for now, just maybe where you're located or whatever, and then we're going to get more into the specifics in a little bit.
Sure. So we are located on 27 Mays Landing Road in Somers Point, which is a single building right off the 7th fairway of Great Bay Country Club. And opened up March 1st, actually. Wow.
So just before the nightmare.
That's right. That's right.
Wow. I give you a lot of credit. That's for sure. Now, you've been in the cigar business longer than just March, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So just give us a little bit of your history. What attracted you to cigars? Why the cigar business? And that's basically, just your background, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So smoking cigars for many years, probably since college. So we're talking over 20 years. And we get together with guys, just like everyone else does, get together, have cigars, have some drinks. And
right.
Had a few friends that really felt like we wanted to do something in our area, which was about 40 minutes north of here in like the Washington Township area, and decided to build something to accommodate the cigar lover in that area.
Right.
And in 2015 of December, we opened up a cigar shop. It's the Black Horse Cigar Shop in Washington Township.
Right.
That's where it all started. And in 2019, sold my interest in that business to my partners.
Right.
And didn't really plan on doing anything else. Got into a discussion with a mutual friend of a cigar shop in this area that was called Goodfellas. And they were going out of business. We were trying to see if we could support what they were doing, what they started, maybe rescue the business. And decided there was a great following. There wasn't something like what we have in the area here. And but once I explored their business, it wasn't really worth it. They didn't have too much something to offer me. So I decided to do something on my own. And that's where this started.
Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think just by getting the lay of the land around here, Somers Point, New Jersey is basically right next to Ocean City, New Jersey. Is that correct?
That's correct. We're like literally 2 minutes from the Ocean City Bridge.
Right. And from what I hear, there's supposed to be the world's, or at least the country's busiest liquor store by that bridge. Is that true? Or is that an urban legend?
No, that is correct. So Ocean City is a dry town.
Yeah.
And so
that sucks.
The liquor store right there on the corner where you catch the bridge over into Ocean City is called Circle Liquor. They are busy all the time, especially in the summers.
Right. So you can't purchase alcohol in Ocean City, but you can bring it in.
Correct.
So, and that's the one-stop shop.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that business is worth a lot, right?
Yeah.
So the shop is in Somers Point. It's a freestanding building, which, in my opinion, if at all possible, a shop that is freestanding, you can do so much more. Right. With it, you have your own parking facilities. You have different areas of the shop, and Somers Point Cigars is no exception. They just have a fantastic layout here. So what we want to do right now is we want to showcase Somers Point Cigars on this episode of the Purveyor Zone. So let's go section by section. Kind of let's describe on the video portion of this podcast which could be found on Vimeo and or YouTube. We're going to have B-roll. So as we're talking and describing the space, you'll be able to see the shop and its different, places within the shop and the different areas that are outlined here. So let's start in the beginning, in the front of the shop.
Sure. So as soon as you walk in, as soon as you approach the building, it's plenty of parking. We're actually going to, the summer was supposed to be a big summer for us. Obviously with the COVID, things changed, having a lot of outdoor events, but that's okay. We weathered the storm. So plenty of parking. Like you said, freestanding building, 2 floors. As soon as you walk in, you're greeted at the left side is our countertop, bar top registration or where the register's at. You take a few feet up, and to the right is a walk-in humidor.
Okay.
And then it blows up from there, from wall to wall. It's a public lounge.
Okay.
So our lounge is open to the public during retail hours. You just buy here. You can smoke in the lounge. If you turn right, you'll be greeted to some doors that open up to the outdoor lounge.
Right.
That is sitting on the 7th fairway of the Great Bay Country Club. And out there
So let me back up for a second.
Sure.
So your shop, just so people understand, it's right by the 7th, it's on the 7th fairway, basically.
Correct.
So you can actually walk out the back of your shop, and I mean, you wouldn't do this obviously, but you could actually just walk right on the green.
Yeah. There's a fence there, but you could.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We're literally a few feet from the cart path.
Wow. That's strategically, that's incredible.
Yeah. It's been good. People have noticed us from the country club. It's a private club. And I'm starting to work with them on their cigar needs in their pro shop. And also at the 7th fairway, they have a halfway house there that they want to put cigars in. So it's going to be a mutual beneficial relationship.
Right. Nice. Golfing and cigars, they go hand in hand. So, it was a great series of events that must have happened to place you here at Somers Point.
Yeah, it was actually we weren't sure where we were going to be. January came around. I was still evaluating the old shop called Goodfellas.
Right.
That then we got notice that the landlord didn't want to renew the lease. And here I am putting a lot of money and effort into a shop that we're not sure where we're going to be in 2 months.
Yeah.
So when we found this place, we worked out a great deal with the landlord and got in here. And in 2 months, we basically built out the whole building. So
yeah, incredible. And let's get back into describing it. But yeah, again, this incredible location. Now we're now in the main lounge, which is a beautiful space. A lot of really nice, comfortable chairs, and there's some tables, and it's just very inviting, very homey. And you kind of make it feel like you're at home.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. I know cigars we can get anywhere. Our biggest competitors online. We understand that. But to have a place to come and have a cigar, has the right atmosphere, right people, is probably the most important thing in our business. And I told my staff and my general manager that we're in the cigar business, but more importantly, we're in the hospitality business.
Absolutely.
And so we want people to feel welcome here. We want them to continue to come here. We want them to enjoy all the space that we've provided. From the public lounge to the outdoor space. That's why we did, we have cornhole out there. We have horseshoe pits out there. We have lighting. So when it gets late at night, we can light up. It's a full kitchen. We have 3 grills, a working sink. So we just basically built it so that would be a space for people that wanted to be outside can do that. And the weather's getting great now. So
yeah, no, absolutely. And this is like a one-stop shop. So you can come in, you can smoke your cigar in the inside lounge, or you can go on a nice night or a nice day. You go outside. They have facilities to do some cooking. You can watch people play as they go through the golf course. You're right there, kind of a butt up to the course. Just a great space, and I congratulate you on that, because you don't find spaces like this too often. Right. So
especially not in this area. I've been told that a lot of people who have come through, you can't be everything to everyone.
Right.
But what we try to do is make sure we have enough humidor space to bring in the right product. And then we wanted to make sure we fit out the space so that it was, like you said, welcoming and something you want to come to.
And it is welcoming. It is welcoming. And whenever you're in the area, you guys got to come down and check out Somers Point Cigars. I mean, it is a smoking oasis. I mean, you've got everything here. You've got the space to smoke inside. You've got the outside space, which has all those facilities and things that we just talked about. Let's go now and talk a little bit about your humidor and the different brands that you represent, like your product mix.
Yeah. Oh, actually, before that, we're actually in the second floor lounge.
Oh, yes. Okay. So we'll get to the humidor in a second.
Yeah. So we're open to the public, but we do have memberships, and our memberships have 24/7 access. And one of the spaces we want to create was a members VIP lounge, which is where we're sitting in.
It's very beautiful. Very beautiful.
It's fit out with the full 9-foot Brunswick pool table.
Nice.
Yes, we have the dartboard here, and we have underneath here is our poker tables, because we do some nice little pickup friendly games of poker. Every week, actually, we're doing poker. So this lounge is basically set up for the members to come and either, get away, take a phone call, do some work, or just get away from everyone downstairs, because it can get a little rowdy.
Absolutely.
And then next to us, adjacent, is just my office.
Right. So a nice office.
So the humidor.
Yes, let's speak about the humidor.
So the humidor we built out, all cedar. The humidification system is really good. It's once you set it up, it was just let it run. And we've been doing a lot of testing on it and making sure we got in the right humidification and temperature. It's been really good. Right now we have maybe a few thousand facings, and we are still trying to figure out what the community wants to smoke. It's been difficult, as you can tell. March hits, 2 weeks later, we're shut down. I went through the whole summer not knowing what the golf community wants, what's the Somers Point community wants, because they weren't coming out. So I brought in what I thought would sell well. And it's been actually from that point on, since, probably April was the toughest month, it started increasing, and we're getting a feeling of what the community likes to smoke here.
Nice.
So it's just a test right now. We'll never know fully if this was a good test this year because of what we went through.
True.
But it's actually, helping me out now that things are getting a little bit back to normal, seeing what people like and get an idea of what cigars I should be bringing in. Right.
No, that's great. And as we both know, being in the business, there are a lot of different cigars out there. There's so many cigars, and you can't carry everything. I mean, you would have to, the humidor would have to be the size of this building.
Correct.
So you have to be selective. You have to put together a good mix of products. And I think you're working towards doing that. I think you have a great selection there. I've seen some stuff in there. You carry the Plasencia cigars. I've seen Perdomo in there. I think I saw Fuente and some other stuff in there. So, you carry a nice selection. It's definitely something that's I'm not gonna say unique to this area, because but in terms of this area, I don't think there's another shop like it. Within I don't know how many miles, but this is like the place to go if you're in this area. It's the Somers Point, Ocean City area.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because we are like the hub to many of the beaches too. So they come here, get their cigars. They end up in Ventnor, Atlantic City, Brigantine, Margate, Ocean City. All these beaches are basically within miles of our shop. So it's helpful to be in this location. And you're right. We're still trying to figure out what sells and what doesn't. I can't bring in everything. I would love to bring in as much as I can. But yeah, you have limited space. So you have to be on the side of, quality, what does move, and instead of just quantity. And interesting enough, if someone comes in and is very specific about a cigar they want, I don't carry, I probably can find something very comparable, even better maybe. And so if I'm not doing that, I'm not doing my job, just to turn them on to something different. So we take it as a challenge to maybe open their eyes to something different that we do carry. And 9 out of 10 times we're dead on. And they come back and they say, what was that cigar you recommended? It was great. I want to try it again. So.
Yeah. And the best thing about places like Somers Point Cigars is when you come in, always support your local tobacconist, especially during these times. All right. Small business, got to support them. You're going to be taken good care of. The team here is excellent. You're going to come in. They're going to show you the different cigars that they carry. They're going to help you make your selection and start your cigar journey. And then you can sit down in their lounge, either the downstairs lounge, the public lounge. You can go outside, or if you want to sign up for a membership and become a member, you'll have access to the membership facilities. And remember, if you guys out there figure out a way to smoke a cigar online, let me know, okay? Because I mean, honestly, you need a place to go, and if we don't support these tobacconists, you're not gonna have a place to go to, and where you're gonna smoke. Very few people can have the ability to smoke in their house or their apartment. They need a place, and now when the winter's coming, it's gonna be quite cold. And even like this summer, I don't know about you down here in Somers Point, but it was like a hell of a hot summer.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it's not very conducive to standing out in the 95 high humidity weather and smoking a cigar. That's the last thing most people want to do.
Right.
So again, come support your local tobacconist, support Somers Point Cigars. They got a great selection. They got a great facility, and they're here to help you along your cigar journey. That's
correct. Yeah, we do the same thing. I'm very big on supporting other brick and mortar shops. You'll see me post things where I'm at. People would say competitors, but they're not. Our biggest competitor right now is the FDA. But I'll go to Ocean Cigars and patronize them, and I go to Cigars recently. So we're doing all those things. We support each other. As a owner, I support other owners because I know what they're going through.
Yeah, and that's great. It's a community. And remember, the cigars, and I've said this 100 times on all my shows, the cigars is the great equalizer. It brings people together, right? So when people come in, especially here in the summertime, they have a big tourist community here that comes down and they go to the beach and stuff, and they're looking, at night, they want to pick up some cigars so they can smoke out in the balcony, or they can smoke here at Sumner's Cigars or what have you. And it's just a place where they can come and they can get the cigars that they want or get introduced to something new. And that's a service that they provide here, which is there's not many other places that you have that. And then when you come in, if you decide to stay, you're treated like family. All of a sudden you'll sit down and somebody will ask you, hey, what are you smoking? And they'll tell you, oh, I'm smoking. In this case, I'm smoking a Regis. We'll get into that in a moment. But and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, what are you smoking? Oh, I'm smoking a Plasencia Armor Forte or whatever. And then you start the conversation. The conversation opens up, and then all of a sudden you're asking questions, and before you know it, you're like friends.
Yeah, it's very true, because I know someone who has a cash and carry business. They do a lot of cigars, but he keeps telling me, the one thing he thought about was building a lounge. He'll get the routine people that come through, but he's always, letting me know that the best thing I did was make sure we have a lounge. And we knew that from the very, very beginning. Yeah. You have to have a place for people to smoke, because like I said, they can get cigars anywhere. And it's no fun smoking by yourself.
Yeah, that is true.
This does bring a lot of great people together. It does. And it is a normalizer.
Yep. It's I always call it the great equalizer. And it doesn't matter what walk of life you're from, right? I mean, when you're here at Somers Point Cigars, or any cigar lounge for that matter, I could be a waiter at a restaurant, and Steve here could be the CEO of a bank. It doesn't matter what our bank accounts look like. It doesn't matter what walk of life we're from. It doesn't matter, where you're from or anything. The cigar is the common denominator, and that is what brings us together. And it induces and invites conversation, and friendships form out of that. And I think that is a great thing.
That's very true. Very true. We've seen it very evident here in Somers Point, especially in these times of, a lot of things happening on the news. We try to stay away from it. And this has been like a safe haven for people just to get away from it all and not even have to talk about it. We talk about family. We talk about whiskey, bourbon.
Yes.
We talk about cigars. Yes. It's really takes you away from some of the things, even the things that are happening at home or at work. Everything just sort of is left at the door, and they come in and it's like they're on their own little vacation.
That's correct. Leave your politics, leave the religion, and that's the stuff on the other side of the door. When you come in here, all are welcome, and new friendships are formed. And it's a great thing to see, and I see it all the time in those places that are run right and they have the right mix and the right clientele. I see it all the time.
Yeah, it's true.
I see it all the time.
Yep.
So, all right. So we talked a little bit about the space. You know, when you walk in, you have your retail area to the left. Then you walk a little further, and the humidor is to the right. And then you got the big lounge, the public lounge, which is very comfortable. And you even have I saw you have a little aquarium there.
Yeah, that's right.
Kind of cool.
Big Al's in there. He made the trip from the old shop. We were able to keep him, so that was good.
Big Al.
Yeah.
And what kind of fish is Big Al?
I don't know fish. No idea. Big Al.
Nemo. I don't know.
Yeah. Not a clownfish. I know that.
It's not a clownfish. No. Piranha?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're going to come in, you say hi to Big Al.
Yep.
And then you got the outside area, which I think is going to be very popular in the fall, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's a great space out there. And again, you'll see all this stuff, behind us or imposed on this video. Or superimposed on the video so you can see all the different sections. And then if you happen to be a member, you come upstairs and you have this beautiful 9-foot pool table. There's a poker table. You got this beautiful couch and lounge chairs and all that stuff. Just very well thought out, a very inviting atmosphere. And they even have, and then you have a kitchen facility outside too, right?
Yeah. So, what happens
Barbecue.
with the kitchen? I mean, people ask, can I cook? And I'm like, sure. Whether it's customers, members, just recently a member came in with some friends, put some steaks on the grill and basically cooked for everyone they could. And that's sort of what happens in this culture. You bring your libation, you share it. You bring your food, you share it. It's almost
That's
like
awesome.
having a house party.
Yeah.
And everyone brings like a
Something.
potluck to come together. It was funny because the first time we fired up those grills was on Father's Day. We had a members' Father's Day breakfast. And then as customers came in, people started bringing other food and it became a Father's Day lunch and a Father's Day dinner. And we just kept the grills going. So we have all that because we knew that would be something that people would want. I personally, listen, if I wasn't the owner, I would want to be a member of a shop like this. Now, I'm not just saying that because I'm the owner. I just build it for something that I think I would have enjoyed. And my wife, we'll give her the credit for a lot of things here. So everything in
That's
terms
a wise
of color,
move.
everything with the color palettes and the setup and the aesthetics and making sure it felt like home. I give her that. And then myself and my friend John, we had to come and execute these things. So, but she was the designer of this place.
Yeah, and and you can see it's very well designed, and you can see that some real thought went into it. And what's your wife's name? Her first?
Jackie.
Jackie. So Jackie, thank you. You did a great job, by the way. And Steve did a great job on the execution.
Yeah, we tried.
It's a great place. Again, Somers Point Cigars, if you're in the area, they're located on, 27
Mays Landing Road.
Yeah, and that's in Somers Point. While we're telling the address, let's also say, so your website is what?
Yeah, so it's SomersPointCigars.com. And now Somers is spelled SOMERS, not SUMMERS. So SomersPointCigars.com. And if you feel free to go to our website, we're also on Facebook and Instagram.
All right. And what's your phone number here at the shop?
609-904-2640.
All right. And we'll have this posted on the video too, so you guys can check it out. But definitely when you're down here in the Somers Point area, you got to stop by and see the shop. So let me segue into something here. So it feels like I've been in a nightmare of sorts. This year has just been full of so much bad stuff. I mean, it started out, for those of you who know me, I'm a big fan of Rush and my favorite drummer, Neil Peart. He passed away in early January. We had Kobe Bryant passed away, I think, at the end of January. And then we had fires. We had volcanoes. We have a pandemic. What did I say? Probably earthquake somewhere there. And now they're saying there's storms, an asteroid might hit us a day before the election. I mean, it just doesn't end. So let me ask you this question. If 2020, Steve, if 2020 was a cigar, how would you rate it?
Wow.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
If 2020 was a cigar, how would I rate it? Well, you know what? honestly, I got to give 2020 some credit, just because I think it just tested us, I think it tested me. It tested whether or not we were going to just pack up and leave and not even do this.
All right.
So it kind of built some fortitude. Like I felt like I got stronger because of 2020.
Okay.
So it's almost like, I think of, I think of sometimes, I think of the Fuente family going through their fires, their history of fires and how they just weathered that storm
and they got stronger.
Yeah. So I feel like, I don't know.
That's a good answer.
2020, I don't know if I would give it the best rating, but I think for what it's done for us as a shop and for me as a person,
you learned from it.
I think I learned
and you grew.
a lot. Yeah, and we grew.
And you grew.
And we weathered the storm. Yeah. And we're nice. Weathering things a lot. So I think it actually has done some good things for me personally and also for the business, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
no, that's great. I mean, most people, when they answer that type of question is, 2020 was a 1 star, was negative 10 stars. It was, and I get that. And, but, you actually say, you actually say, yes, 2020 sucks and all that, but it made me a better person. I grew because of it. I learned things that I didn't know about myself.
Right. And I do think in reality, like this place, because of what was happening, we had to gradually open up. We had members who were still trying to find a thing to do. And because this place, we're gradually going with the government's mandate of, limiting our distance and everything, we would allow some of them to come in. And we had one guy that said it saved his marriage because he was home all the time. But
yeah,
it just, I felt like even my members, they really, put their stake in the sand and says, we're here for you. We're going to support you. We can buy anywhere else, but this is their shop. And so they came out and showed me their true colors, and it's been nothing but, great things from them. So,
it's funny you should say that, because there's a few other shops that I have visited, and I've heard similar stories where during these times, their customers, their customer base is so loyal that they did not want their favorite cigar shop to go under. And they actually came out, and they didn't just purchase one cigar. I could tell you stories of people coming in and saying, you know what? I want to help you guys out. I want to make sure you're here when it's over. So let me have a couple boxes. They actually stepped up, and I guess from what I'm hearing from you, Steve, is that you've had the same experience.
Yeah. And it's they've come in and they loaded up. They knew we were struggling. They knew product was hard to get in here.
Yeah.
Everything that was happening to the cigar industry but you're right. Listen, we were just March 1st. So I was feeling like,
you opened March 1st.
So all of a sudden we got 2 great weeks in, and then boom, we're done. And to have people in that small time frame say things like, I don't want you guys to go anywhere. I want to make sure you're around when this is done. That's huge. So you're doing something right.
Yeah.
You got people who want to see this succeed. And so, we haven't been here for years. Yeah. And to build that camaraderie or that loyalty, but we got it from the door.
That in 2 weeks being opened?
Yeah, that's what happened.
That's very telling.
Yeah.
That's very telling. I mean, just to have, first of all, it shows that there's really nothing in this area that is like this. And all of a sudden they get used to this incredible space in a very short period of time. And then all of a sudden it's taken away. It's just like, you got to shut down. You can't operate, blah, blah, blah. And to actually have your customer say, you know what? We got your back.
Exactly. That's how I felt.
That's amazing.
It was pretty amazing to just be here. I'm not an emotional guy too much, but I had to sit in the office for a moment and just say, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah. Because in a lot of businesses, it's not going to be like that.
Right.
But this is like Steve said, it's the hospitality business. It's a relationship-based business. Okay. It's not transactional. Sure, there's transactions involved, but it goes beyond the transaction, right? You buy your cigar, you sit down, you have your conversations, you build friendships and relationships. And that is the value of the tobacconist, those cigar lounges. That's what they have to offer. And that's why it's so important that we support them, So they're here for the long haul. And it sounds like you have an incredible customer base. And my hat's off to you.
Yeah, thank you.
If I take off my hat now, my headphones will fall off.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah. So tell me a little bit speaking about these challenging times during the pandemic after the shutdown. What did you do during those times to help your business? We know that your customers stepped up, but what have you done in the in the interim during these times? Like, were you doing curbside at all? Were you doing now that you're kind of open? What are you doing to make it a safer place? Is there anything that people need to know about?
Right. So initially, we had to shut down completely. And then when they allowed some things to happen curbside, that's what happened. We had the technology. So I had mobile units that I was able to go outside, take credit card transactions right at their car.
Right.
So we did that for a while. And, eventually people would come in and wondered if, it's a hard thing. I mean, cigars are that one industry, you kind of have to be in front of it. You have to kind of look at it. Some people have to touch it, which, we were just worried about that. But sometimes you have to just look at the cigar to see what you really want to smoke. So it was difficult.
Yeah.
When things started opening up a little bit, I allowed the cash and carry kind of like come in. Unfortunately, you can't stay, but you can buy here. And thank you for, patronizing us and come back soon.
Now, are they able to stay if they're outside?
Yeah, so that was the biggest thing for us. So we had, and it's still happening today. People are still afraid of it. And, we have elderly folks that come in and, they should not be, worried about being in closed spaces. So the outside space is fully like, the patio furniture is there. I mean, tables and chairs and ashtrays. I just laid it all out.
Yeah.
So that was a huge benefit. So they felt, I had people coming in and saying, can I almost like reserve the outdoor space for my party? Because that's all they were able to do. So having outdoor space was a huge benefit. And so during the time of the COVID, we spent a lot of time renovating those spaces to make them up to par. And so curbside, cash and carry, outdoor space. And then as they allowed us to congregate a little bit more, we then sort of like limited the number of people that were in our lounge. And that's sort of this just, building again, I think we're opening up even further. So, but we're always conscious of what's going on with the pandemic. We're not doing much different. We clean every day. So it really didn't change. We had to make sure we were cleaning a little bit more, maybe frequently in the beginning.
Right.
But that's something we do all the time. Yeah. So like my friend who owns a restaurant, there's nothing more. He's doing some things because they are, you kind of have to show, some of those certifications of, cleanliness and COVID cleaning.
Yeah.
And he does that, but nothing's really changed for him. He's clean. That's the restaurant business. You always have to be clean. Yeah. And so we were doing the same things that we were doing in the past, was making sure all the tabletops are clean. All the ashtrays are clean daily. Cutters, we would cut and light for people just to make sure that they weren't, moistening up the tip while they cut on our cutters.
Yeah. You don't want that.
We did all that kind of stuff. We pull those things aside. But that's what we sort of did to weather the storm.
Right. And they do carry a nice selection of Lotus and Vertigo lighters and cutters. So if, to make sure you have your own stuff. And full disclosure, I do represent Lotus and Vertigo. So a little plug there for them. As a matter of fact, I have here the Cyclone. This is
one of the best sellers for just someone who wants.
Yeah, this is a great lighter.
And I haven't brought this one in, but I think you have me try this one. This thing, this thing is really nice too.
Yeah,
and what's selling here actually with Lotus is you got to have some sort of punch or cutter with your lighter. It's great to have a little. The Cyclone's good for the golfer who just wants something to grab and leave it in his bag.
Yeah.
But we go from there all the way up to like the big cutters with the scissor cutter and everything like that. So
they got a great selection. They actually have a full Lotus tower, so they carry all the higher end lighters. And when I mean higher end, I don't mean like $1,000 or $500. These are all under $100. And most of them are in the $50, $60 range. So great stuff. The Vertigo stuff is great, and we appreciate the support on that.
Sure.
So one thing that I want to segue into, we're smoking Regis cigars right now. I think we're smoking the white label. They have a whole bunch of different lines. There's a black label. There's the red, the blue, the white. And we're going to be launching in this area the Regis cigars. And we're going to be doing a great event here at Somers Point Cigars on Friday, September 25th. Don't really know what the time range is. What are you thinking about the time?
Yeah, I mean, it's a Friday. People get out of work 5 or probably 6, 7, get things rolling.
Yeah, so we'll probably be here from 4 on.
Yeah.
And Akil Capese is going to be flying in from England. And he'll be here. He's the brand owner. He's the mastermind behind Regis. And for those of you who have never heard of Regis cigars, I can tell you this. They're all made at the Plasencia factory in Nicaragua, in Esteli, Nicaragua. And Plasencia has been making some great headway in the last few years. You may have known or smoked their Armor Forte cigar, which is everyone's raving about. The family's been in the business for 4 or 5, 6 generations. They grow tobacco. They manufacture tobacco. They've been in the business for a very, very long time. At first, they weren't known by a lot of people because they make a lot of cigars for other manufacturers. And just a few years back, they decided to finally put their family name on their own cigar because they finally felt that they have a cigar that they would be very proud of putting the Plasencia name. So, and Regis, they're all made there and they're all great. They've been rated in Cigar Aficionado multiple times. Just a great cigar. And I want to thank you, Steve, for taking on the line and for bringing it in, and you'll be getting it shortly. And I'm looking forward to having this event with you and your customers. Yeah,
interesting enough. I mean, first going back to the manufacturer, I mean, to have a partnership with Plasencia, I mean, you could just stop there. Kind of like,
yeah, I mean, you're not going to go wrong in any shape or form.
They've done some great collaborations, like you said. Yep. They're behind the scenes. They're like the songwriter. You know, for all the great songs that we hear on the radio.
They keep writing the hits.
Yeah. And then you have, when they came out with their own line of cigars, you know, I have a hard time keeping them on the shelf. Yeah. So we're excited about this. This is going to be interesting to come through. They have a lot of different blends. So this is going to probably match a lot of the profiles that people are looking for. The range, you know, from your Connecticut's all the way to your Maduros.
Yep. They have a big range.
They have a nice range, good price point. And then to have the owner here, I mean, it's interesting. I just realized this is probably our first event since the shutdown.
Yeah.
So that's a great thing to come out pretty strong, have the owner here. It's a Plasencia-backed product. And so we're smoking the white label of this right here.
Yep, that's the white label. It's all Nicaraguan. It uses a Nicaraguan shade-grown wrapper from Jalapa. It has a double Esteli binder and a blend of Esteli and Jalapa filler tobaccos. I would say it's a mild to medium. It's a great morning, afternoon cigar. And then they have other ones here. They have, I don't have it here though, but there's a red, there's a blue. This is the blue. This one has a Mexican San Andreas wrapper and then Esteli and Jalapa binder and filler. Then we have the Connecticut, which is an Ecuadorian shade-grown wrapper, Jalapa and Esteli filler tobaccos. Then there's a red that's a little bit stronger, but they just have a full range of cigars for that kind of hits every portfolio, every palate.
Right.
And, you know, great price points from the black label, red, white, and blue. And then you got the sun-grown Maduro in Connecticut. So just a great line made by a great family. And the owner is great. Akil is a young entrepreneur. He's worked very hard. He's been in the business now, I think 10 years or so. And he's very excited. He's very excited to finally get back to the United States. He was unsure if they would let him back in the country. He finally got permission to come back in September. So he's very excited to be here and to make this one of the stops on that week that he's with me. So we're excited to do it. And thank you so much for the opportunity to launch the Regis brand here at Somers Point Cigars. And I appreciate you, Steve.
Yeah, we're honored to bring him in and actually to meet with him. I mean, even the customer base and members, they could probably talk his ear off because what we found out at the shop is a lot of the guys here they want to learn about cigars.
No, they're going to learn all right.
Yeah. So it's just great to be able to, especially for this community who are like really into it. So there's some guys that just want the cigar and that's it. But we have so many conversations about looking the cigar up and what's the binder, filler, profile, all these things. So to be able to have the owner of a cigar brand sit down with you, maybe tell his story, but also just mingle with the customer base is going to be an excellent experience for them.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's going to be a fun time. We're going to have of course there'll be special promotions that night and swag and all that stuff. So we're looking forward to it, and
probably a lot of food.
Yeah, probably a lot of food. Yeah.
My wife cooks a lot here, so we're all getting heavy.
So yeah, we'll have food, we'll have libations. Right. It'll be a great time. So we're looking forward to that. So I just want to kind of shift the conversation now a little bit to, we talked a little bit, we talked about the shop. We're showcasing the shop, of course. So you're going to see the shop. We're going to be talking about it, and you're going to be seeing what the different spaces are. We talked about the Regis event coming up on Friday, September 25th. Anytime after 4:00, we'll get things going here. And we talked about, the nightmarish 2020, what's been going on. So, but we did get a little bit of a break. I wouldn't say that we won the war, but we definitely won a very important battle with the FDA. For those of you who don't know, I don't know if you've heard what happened, but just about a week ago, the judge delayed the case indefinitely. Mm-hmm. He wasn't too thrilled with the way that the FDA was handling things on their side. They kept stringing things along and never coming up with the final rules year after year. And this is something that's been in the courts for years now. And if the judge didn't make the decision that he did when he did, the deeming rules would have gone into effect basically like in a day or two. I think it was, I don't know if it was the 7th of September or the 15th. And that would have been very bad. That would have been the end of all new stuff. It would have been a disaster. And we did win that battle, but of course, this is an ongoing battle. The judge didn't he did not throw the case out. He didn't do anything like that, but it gives us breathing room. Mm-hmm. But we can't rest on our laurels.
Right.
We have to be, on our toes, and we have to be able to keep up the fight, because only Congress can actually change that. Right. And so, I mean, that's a bit of good news.
Yeah, it's actually excellent news. I mean, it kind of keeps you in limbo, though, especially those guys are sitting out there trying to create blends to know, am I going to get hit with regulation fees on this? And so, I mean, the one thing I've always said about this FDA ruling that, was started, I don't know, 3, maybe 4 years ago when they started. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a few years back, yeah.
Is that people like Regis, for example, the guys are like coming up like with these blends, even these boutique blends that come off the market and are done really, really well. I felt like they were pushing the envelope for all these bigger brands to like really evaluate what they're selling or putting together.
I agree. Yes.
And they were like challenging them.
Like raising the bar.
Yeah, they kept raising the bar. Yeah. So you had, your Altadis brands or something, or your General Cigar brands, they all looked at them and said, we've got to be creative. Like, we can't just be complacent that everyone's going to want just a Macanudo and Monte Cristo. We have to do things to change the game, because these guys are really changing the scope and the landscape of cigars, and we're getting used to all these hybrids. I think that's what's great about, some of the cigars now, that they're pulling tobacco from Honduras and Brazil and, Peruvian tobaccos. I mean, some of our best tobacco right now that I've smoked downstairs that we have is a custom blend from Rojas. Has Peruvian tobacco in it. It is amazing. And no one has heard of it because it's great. It looks unbanded. It looks like just came off the farm. And we leave it that way. We kind of want to show that we're a little different. But the boutique brands were really challenging these bigger companies to be creative. And if they go away, we're going to be limited to to the cigars that are just okay.
Yeah. I mean, imagine coming in to a place like Somers Point Cigars and, asking, Steve or his team, what's new? And they just said, well, nothing's been new for the last year or two. And okay, well, what do you got? We got brand A, brand B, and brand C, and that's it. Because once you take away that competition, once you take away the smaller guys, the boutiques, the bigger guys don't have an incentive to keep innovating. It's like, well, first of all, it'd be too expensive, right? So they won't do it from a financial point of view. And they say, okay, well, we have these brands and these are the grandfathered brands and this is what there is. And nothing will be new ever again. It'll be boring and it'll be the slow death of the industry. And so my hat's off to the judge, at least for giving us that victory. But again, this is not the permanent solution. This is a temporary, reprieve, so to speak. And we have to be on our toes and we have to keep fighting because only an act of Congress, by changing that, would, give us the relief that we need.
Correct. Yep.
So that's at least a bit of good news for our industry in 2020. And we'll keep our eye on that and we'll see, what happens in 21 and 22, but it should buy us time for the next couple of years at least. But again, we have to keep the pressure up. We can't, rest on our laurels and say, we won. Yeah, well, we didn't win the war. We won the battle, that particular battle.
Right.
So yeah. And the other thing the judge threw out, even, I think it was at the end of June or July, he came out and he also said that warning labels, they wanted to cover up these beautiful art. If you look behind us, you see these boxes. 33% of that box would be covered with a sticker that says, smoking is bad for you, whatever, killing that whole artisan industry. So I'm glad that that's not going to happen either. So I mean, that's all good in 2020. So did I miss anything? Is there anything that you like to speak about now, that either upcoming events besides the Regis or anything special? I remember, before I forget, you also have I guess it's like a bus.
Yeah.
Speak to us a little bit about your Somers Point Cigar Lounge bus.
Yeah. So about a year ago, my wife and I purchased a party bus for our own personal use. We have a driver, and we do this a lot and spend a lot of money on party buses, so we decided to get our own.
Well, that's a way to do it.
Yeah. So we got a party bus, and it's sitting now in our parking lot out here. It soon will be branded for Somers Point Cigars with a wrap on it. It'll be a promotional vehicle. But what we're using that for is, again, we're going to be doing like cigar crawls. We're going to go make trips to other cigar shops. I can put 22 guys, probably all my members will probably want to go on this trip with us, or a few trips. We're going to go out and show up at someone's cigar shop and unload 22 guys willing to, patronize them. And so cigar crawls is one of the things that we're going to do. We'll bring it out to do some other trips with cigar, sort of like the cigar feel for it. But that's sort of the goal for the bus, is to sit out there, not only to be advertising, but we'll probably use it for some like bar crawl, cigar crawl thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're actually looking, we got like I said, a relationship with Great Bay, and we're looking at a golf cart for
Great Bay is the
country club. Yeah.
Right here. Okay.
So the country club has got a golf cart that we're looking at purchasing from them, and it'll probably be basically replicas of each other. So it'll be like a big guy and a small guy. And nice. The goal for that is they do events out here, and obviously, like you said, cigars and golf, they go hand in hand. So we're hoping that we can be fitted out. So instead of having the beverage cart, which it has, we're going to be putting humidor on it.
Nice.
On the sides, and we'll go out there and sell cigars, but we'll also use it as an opportunity for people who are doing golf events. We support a lot of golf events that have, just recently our Gibby from Smoke and Shields, his father was a fire captain in Philadelphia that died in 2016, I believe. He had his first annual event. And so things like that, we can actually rent it out to those events, so we can drive around again and sell cigars to the guys who are on the golf course. So it's just another added feature that we're just trying to provide, another added way of serving the cigar community.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, they have a lot of benefits here at Somers Point Cigars. They got the party bus now that they can take the show on the road, so to speak, and not only taking it on the road, but just like Steve said, that they also support the other tobacconists in the area, right? They'll do a cigar crawl and they'll go to these shops. They'll have a 4 or 5 stops, and then they're also thinking about doing the thing with the cart on the country club at the golf course to go around there as well. So, I mean, you're thinking outside the box. You're being creative. You're not just opening a space, open the door, and say, "Hey, I sell cigars, and that's what I do." You're thinking beyond that.
Correct.
Which is awesome.
It is. It is something that, I mean, I think as a business owner, you're trying to, cigar is the hub of everything you're trying to do. So any way you can support the community and the industry, obviously has to make business sense. Something we're always looking to do. We're going to be looking at Circle Liquor and supporting them with their cigar needs. We're in conversation right now with Roger Wilco. They are setting up basically a humidor that we're going to manage for them at their store in Pennsauken, which is a beautiful store there.
Yeah.
And they call this in to basically support them with the humidor and cigars in their premium space. And what we're doing for them is we're going to actually do a pairing. So we'll have all the cigars, but we'll put little tags in there that says this cigar pairs well with their, the Bullet or their Elijah Craig, or any of their high-end stuff. So it actually will be a good cross-reference for them to upsell or just provide a nice menu for them that goes from their whiskey or scotch or their bourbon and the cigars that we're going to hold there. So.
Nice. Again, thinking outside the box, being creative, looking for those cross-promotional opportunities. And again, my hat's off to you. You've done an excellent job doing that. And it sounds like, you're doing the right thing. You're going out there, you're looking for those opportunities and you're capitalizing on them and you're building your base, your customer base and everything you do here at Somers Point Cigar. So that's awesome.
Yep.
That's good business. And I'm glad to hear that.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
So any last things before we wrap up the show that you want to make sure that you get out there?
No, I just, I want to let everyone know that we're obviously open. Memberships are going well. We have about 60, we had 60 lockers. It's now down to like maybe 20 or 30 left. Right. So we're building a membership. So if you want to get in on the memberships, let us know. Come by, take a look at the shop. 2 separate memberships that give you 24/7 access to the building.
So it is 24/7.
Yeah. So if you become a member, whether it's standard or the premium, you get 24/7 access to the lounge and this room here, the VIP room. So we have those memberships. So if you're interested in that, let us know. Come by, take a look. So really, we're just trying to make sure people know and come as you feel. If you want to wear a mask, and that's fine with us. If that's what you want to do, you want to sit outside. We have that space. But yeah, come out and enjoy a cigar. We'll try to bring in as much as we can. We're looking forward to seeing how well this cigar, the Regis cigar, comes and does well here. That's what we're hoping for, and we're always hoping that, right, for every cigar that we bring in.
Absolutely.
So we're looking for great things to happen. The football season's coming, so obviously membership's going to become important because when we lock down, members will stay, and the community, customer base will have to leave, and they get to stay and watch all the late night games and stuff. So
and being in the situation that we're all in, during this time, you can't go to a game, right? So if you can't physically go to the stadium to watch your favorite team play, come on down to Somers Point Cigars. They got the TVs, they got the games on. You can sit here in the comfort of something that's going to resemble your home and watch the games. They got some really nice TVs and all that all over the place.
Right. And the filtration system is working flawlessly right now. So we're keeping it all nice and clear for people who have, some people just, the smoke can get on their nerves sometimes.
Well, you have to have a good ventilation system, and they have that here at Somers Point Cigars. And again, it's a freestanding building, so it's they're going to have the best type of system set up so that they keep the air recirculating and clean, so it's comfortable. You're watching the games or whatever you're doing. Whether you're inside or outside or upstairs in the private lounge. So So, Steve, I want to thank you again for the opportunity to film and record this episode, this showcase of Somers Point cigars for the Purveyor Zone. Thank you for that. I want to also thank you for the opportunity bringing in the Regis cigars and as well as the Lotus Vertigo, which you already carry. Thank you for those opportunities as well. I really appreciate you. And you've been listening to the Purveyor Zone with Ron Melendi, the Cigar Purveyor. I'm here with Steve Ortiz, the owner of Somers Point Cigars. When you're in the area, come on down to 27 Mays Landing Road in Somers Point, New Jersey. Their phone number is 609-904-2640. So be sure to check them out. Be sure to come in and support them and to check out this beautiful location. And you can catch this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, and the video portion will be up on Vimeo and or YouTube. I appreciate you guys. Steve, again, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And be well, guys, and I'll see you out on the road. And until the next episode of the Purveyor Zone, please be safe, be well. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Peace.